Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great, and welcome to this new market update. I have to laugh a little bit because the market has been incredibly volatile since the New York Open today, and there's, again, like I also said in the video this morning and yesterday, there's reasons to be optimistic, there's reasons to be pessimistic. We'll go over that in this video. I'll do a full update. And I'll also answer the question in either the title or the thumbnail about whether we will actually drop down lower. So far it looks pretty good, but we'll talk about that. First, let's start off with some fundamentals. I thought that was better. Today we had the phone call between Trump and Xi Jinping. That created most of the volatility, all right? That's also when we saw the market open, the New York Open. You can see the volatility index initially spiked up, then dropped down. There were a lot of headlines, right? I mean, the CCTV, right? So the state television in China published some more critical tones, and then Xi Jinping said some more positive tones, and then Trump also on Truth Social came with some more positive tones. So in the end, the market reaction is pretty good, right? Volatility index and gold have dropped down so far, even though they've been very volatile in the meanwhile. I mean, gold, you can see that right here, it went up and down. And the stock market is also trading at the highest level since the end of February. So the fundamentals are actually quite good, all right? We had some economic data today as well, but that matters much less than the other things we just spoke about. Economic data was quite good as well, because the balance of trade for the US, right, one of the key reasons why we have all these trade deals and why we had the tariffs, was about $33 billion less than expected. So still in a deficit, but good news, I'd say. And then the jobless data was relatively neutral, I'd say, especially if you take into account all the economic data that we had over the course of the week. But all right. Those are the fundamentals. Like I said, equities are up. We still have a Coinbase Bitcoin premium right here. And what we spoke about, let's get into Bitcoin. What we spoke about this morning is that today was very much a crucial day in which we actually needed to see some momentum coming back. Because Thursday historically was a day, at least historically in the last month, where we saw quite a lot of buying and where we saw quite a lot of bullish pressure. Last week we saw that being reversed and we had quite a lot of bearish pressure. So this week it was pretty crucial, at least in my opinion, that we would see a return of the bullish momentum. And so far, I think it's too early to say that, all right? I think we have a little bit more left to prove in order for me to say that we have returned the bullish momentum. I do think the price action we've seen so far indicates stability, all right? Like I said, equities are up. The general fundamentals for crypto still seem relatively fine. And then outside of that, you have this small range right here between 106,000 and 104,200. And we have been able, with all the volatility and high volume, we have been able to hold that so far with a POC of this high volume move right here at the bottom, which is usually a good sign. And that in combination with the fundamentals. Look, it is a fundamentals market, right? So if we get some bad news, that will change the situation, but I would say for now, at least, I expect stability. I expect stability within this range for Bitcoin. So do I expect that we will fall down lower? No. For now, no. All right. If the fundamentals change, I would change my mind as well, but for now, no. And I would say, because we have this range here in the middle, can we still test this level to the downside? Can we still test 103.9? Can we still test 103.5? Yes, but I think ultimately we will hold this range here in the middle for now, and that we can get a move as well into that level at 105.5 and 106. That's what I think is most likely. Now, do I think we can break out to the upside? Maybe, if we see the same momentum come back as we saw during May. But at this point of time, that seems unlikely, right? So I expect stability. That doesn't mean that I expect a bullish breakout, although, yeah, maybe I would say a bullish breakout is a little bit more likely than a bearish one, but that doesn't mean that it's going to happen. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Bitcoin. Let's talk about XRP, then we'll talk about ETH, then we'll talk about altcoins. XRP itself, stable, all right? I expect stability from this. There's no incredible volume at this point of time. It also rejected at the trend line right here. So ultimately, XRP is going to remain stable here. And ETH is trying its best to hold the main support level right here at 2,590. at this point of time looks good. I think Ethereum actually has the best chance out of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP to get a breakout. But the main level would be 2640. I would say for now, expect stability with the chance to break out. Ethereum has a much higher chance to break out than Bitcoin. But yeah, so that's majors. When we're talking about altcoins, I mean, if we do a brief scan right here, we had Ravencoin being listed on Upbit earlier. That's not really interesting. There's not much that I would say is very interesting. A coin I'm personally interested in is Maker. I think Maker fundamentally is an amazing coin, right? And it's also getting a pretty good reaction right here from a very important support level around 1700. So that is a coin you could keep your eyes on. And I think in general, like I said, with ETH as well, I think Ethereum related coins such as ENS as well, so that's Ethereum naming service, looks quite interesting as well, and is at a major support level here. So trade with caution, because like I said, it is a fundamentals market, and fundamentals can turn this whole thing around very quickly. But overall, I do not think today we will fall down lower. I expect stability, and I expect some localized rallies. But those are my thoughts. I think that's what you need to know. If you do have any questions, let me know down in the comments. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care, and bye.